So cultivating different kinds of mana. Mana in this case is what we're going to call magical energy, etheric energy, mental energy. Essentially when you focus in an area, space, maybe your body, maybe you make a ball in your hands or an object, then this energy that is produced is mana. You can see it specifically if you put your hands or some part of your body over a single colored wall, usually a light colored wall, and you just kind of look at the aura that is radiating from your fingers. You can also do this with objects. If you focus on an object long enough, it will start to glow with this interesting kind of etheric energy. I think it's electromagnetic or something like that to be scientific. Anyway, so if you are practicing magic and such, you will what we can call cultivating mana or practicing the use of mana and all that stuff. This is just going to be a little tutorial on how to do that in different forms and different kinds of it. So first thing is you can focus just in your head, the mid-head center. If you look up the third eye chakra, essentially that location, so in between your brow and inside of the actual skull and in the middle of the brain. If you focus here, this is your mental center. If you just hold that focus, you just keep focusing, meditating there. This will cultivate mana, so to speak. It'll cultivate focus and mental ability. You'll eventually gain a mental center there, which you'll feel, and it'll enhance your sensory ability, mental ability, all that kind of stuff, magical ability. Next, you can focus on the body, mentally focus on your whole body, and you kind of shroud it in aura or cover it in aura, so to speak. I'm doing that right now, and I can feel that my body is kind of electrical now, magnetic. It's energetic. I can feel it. It's stimulated, and then you want to stop once you finish that meditation. You can do this like 10 minutes or however long you want. And you always make sure that you stop. You don't want to keep focusing, keep using this shrouding your body in aura or continuously focusing your head. The default state, I think of it's kind of like NPC no jutsu. If you're seeing the NPC meme, and of course in jutsu, taking no jutsu is the technique of, so to speak. So it's kind of, if you think like the most brain dead Saturnian NPC, and you make that like an energy, it's just completely, no thoughts, no feelings, no emotion. Not like you're blocking it out, but you're so grounded and so. That's what I feel like the default state is. So make sure to start and end in that state, just the default state of not focusing really anywhere, or else you can burn certain areas of your body by focusing too much, because it's like a laser, light going through a piece of glass. Anyway, next one is, once you are good at covering your body in mental energy, mana, etc., building this aura, you can learn to cover objects in it. You can learn to cover your room in it, to just expanding out through the whole room. You're developing external sensory abilities. You can, what else can you do? Make a ball, your hands, or make a shape or whatever. And both, you can use your imagination, so you can imagine like a blue light or something, or you can feel it. These both activate it. The feeling is a more lower version, the imagination is a higher, more subtle mental version of it. So you can think imagination is more like astral energy. Astral light is just imaginary energy. Next is different elements. Now, of course, we have our 5 elements. The 5th element, the space, electromagnetism, or ether, is this mana, is just what we've been doing, pure focus. Then we have the earth, the water, which are both the yin or the negative, and the air and fire, the positive. Now, fire and water are temperature based. That's what we want to relate on. So it's hot and cold. Hot and cold. While earth and air is heavy and light. The easiest way to cultivate or use air energy is to kind of feel like you want to levitate. So you feel your whole body and you're trying to levitate your whole body. If you do this on your arm really well, your arm will kind of float up naturally. That's when you get good at it. You can just float limbs up. Of course, unless you're incredibly powerful with this, you can probably levitate objects and such. You're probably not going to float up in the air until you're very, very good at it, I assume. But the way that you do it, you focus on your whole body. So use the basic technique, the basic mana technique, and then you pull upwards. You pull this energy, which is your aura, your bodily aura, upwards. It's really that simple. Or you try to make it feel like you're very light. Either one is works fine, I find. And you'll kind of feel an upward pulling force, and that's good. That's what you want. Next one is the earth's energy. Now, earth is very stable, solidified. You can specific earth energy because there are different aspects. As in, like the air energy, we have different aspects, which is lightness, and then pulling upwards are 2 different aspects, so to speak. The first aspect is the solidity, so you just feel like stable, strong, like a rock. You just try to feel like a rock, or imagine yourself as a rock. Next is to push down to feel like gravity is increasing or your weight's increasing, whatever. However you look at that, because it's like at the end of the day, it's do you see that things fall down because they're heavy or because there's a force pushing them down? Whatever one you'd like to do. One is focusing more on the object, the physical object, which is the heaviness. The other is focusing more on a force, which is pulling down, so the gravity pulling down. Next is temperatures. Now these I find are a little bit more difficult. Maybe it's just because I found them, maybe it's just because specifically they're more abstract to wrap my own head around. Because just focusing on pulling up and down, like a pressure pulling up and down, is very easy for me. Temperatures specifically, so let's go first with fire. Fire I found was the easier one. You just try to imagine heat, hotness. Now hot, I found it's kind of like a little bit of tension. I mean, coldness is like a relaxation. Heat is like a little bit of tension. Not too much, just a little bit. But you don't want to try to focus on tension. You try to focus on heat. When you develop this aura, and the focus on the aura, like the ghost in the body, you make it hot. So heat aura on fire mana. You can imagine, like visualize you're on fire. You could just try to feel heat. You just keep practicing this. Keep practicing. Like so that's the thing that I have to say, and you have to understand is that I can. This stuff is really difficult to explain because like I have to develop words or find really good analogies. Because the problem is, like, I find this is kind of the thing with everything. Actually, is that you can tell someone how to do it. That's good, but they have to do it. They have to practice until they kind of understand, and until you like build it in and develop the ability and stuff. And that can take days, it can take months, it can take years. So basically, what I'm saying is run off that idea of heat and just practice until it starts to work. You want to feel a subtle feeling of heat. If you can do that, you've got it. And then you can heat up a room or whatever, and you can test this with thermometers. Try to project it towards a thermometer, and that kind of that's a good way to do it. Practice if you get really good at it. It's very difficult though to get to that stage. It takes a while. Anyway, coldness is the opposite. I find, as I said, it's kind of like a relaxation. It's almost like a deadness, or like a. It's I think heat is like chaos. It's, you know, intensity. Coldness is more like a stable, dead. It's like a cold kind of takes energy from you or makes it go internal. Heat makes it go external. So yeah, think of those things, but just think of coldness, feelings that you feel when you're cold, that restriction, that, yeah, if you can do that, you'll start to feel a little bit chilly, a little bit, you know, bluer is the best way I can say. And then if you go from that to back to heat again, then you will feel that contrast. Similar, if you go from earth to air or up to down energy, you'll feel a contrast. So yeah, just keep practicing that. Anyway, those are the 5 elements. You can honestly imagine anything you want, and develop that quote unquote mana, the specific mana that, like, maybe you think of electricity, magnetism, or health, or sickness, you know, light and dark, that's another one. So this is a fun little, you know, magical imagination exercise that can eventually take on a practical and physical form of, you know, temperatures, or like a feeling of gravity or whatever. So yeah, it's a fun little thing to practice, and it's a good way to develop some magical ability. So I hope you were able to understand this. If not, just throw a comment down or whatever. And also, as well, if you're looking for a place to contact me, like an email, or if you want to buy products and services from me, I have that all down below. So yeah, I hope you like that, and goodbye.